Hong Kong protests. China still needs the city to connect with global business. Hong Kong has long been a conduit between China and global business and finance. Now that the annual march to mark the anniversary of Britain handing Hong Kong back to China is expected to draw huge numbers on Monday. It follows weeks of the turmoil has among Hong Kong businesses and international executives about the threat to the rule of law and freedom of expression. The events have also raised new questions about how China views Hong Kong. Does Beijing still need the city, and if so, will it back away from confrontation that could drive business and investors away? By some measures, Hong Kong is much less important to China than it was in 1997, the year it was handed back by the British. Back then, the relative contraction has coincided with the rise of cities like Shanghai and Shenzhen in China, and the gradual development of financial markets on the mainland. Hong Kong, however, continues to play a crucial. Years ago, there was a lot of talk about Shanghai taking over Hong Kong as the global financial center in Asia. That hasn't happened. Hong Kong has played a pivotal role in the opening up of China's markets by establishing connections with stock markets in Shanghai in 2014 and Shenzhen in 2016. Those links allow, beyond those programs, Hong Kong continues to be an attractive place for Chinese companies to find new sources of funds. Last year, Chinese companies raised nearly $35 billion through initial public offerings in Hong Kong, versus about $21 billion on mainland exchanges, according to Delogic. Chinese tech giant Alibaba, which went public in New York in 2014, is now, rather than Shanghai or Shenzhen. That fact alone, in the next 2 decades, China is expected to invest trillions of dollars globally, and Hong Kong will play a more important role than ever, Charles Li, CEO of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, wrote in 2017, commemorating the 20-year anniversary of the city's handover to China. Hong Kong was in the best position to become China's global wealth management center, helping rich Chinese invest abroad and diversify their portfolios, and would likely become a place where the price of the Chinese yuan, which is still not fully convertible, could be reliably determined, according to Li. China does not have the best reputation on the international stage right now. It has been accused of violating international trade norms and taking other liberties that helped its economy become the world's second largest. Some international But Le Corps is less optimistic about Hong Kong's long-term prospects, saying the city's power as a financial hub was diluted when China included it in a plan to create a megalopolis with 8 other Chinese cities and Macau. The so-called Greater Bay Area is a region Beijing hopes will grow to rival San Francisco, New York, and Tokyo in terms of technological innovation and economic success. The official narrative, opponents see the region, and the bridges and roads built to connect the cities, as a way for Beijing to. For Hong Kong, that represents a
raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park,